in the heart of the African continent, where the heat bends the earth and dust rises like a sigh from the distant past, stretches an immense dominion without kings or borders, yet ruled by a single law: survival. This is the savannah, a yellow sea of grass rippling with the wind, where the sun burns without mercy and shadows do not always promise refuge. Mercy has no place here. Life is not a right but a daily conquest. On these open plains, time is measured in steps, glances, and heartbeats. Each dawn carries the promise of death, and each night falls upon bodies that no longer run. Bodies once frantic, panting, fearful, all awaiting another chance to outwit death. The hunter stalks the prey, and between the two, the eternal cycle of hunger and fear is woven. Nothing is guaranteed. The strongest may fall to an infected wound, the fastest may misjudge a leap, the cleverest may be ambushed, and the weakest seldom greet another night. Here every living being is both executioner and condemned. The savannah is neither paradise nor hell. It is simply a remnant of a world ruled by instinct, flesh, and blood. In this fragile balance, certain predators thrive by exploiting the mistakes of others. Hyenas, masters of their craft, patrol the plains, scanning for weakness. Ever watchful, they roam in packs, flank targets, and wait for the slip, the stumble, the fracture. Their power lies in jaws that can split long bones and crush skulls. Hunting not by impulse but by deliberate calculation, yet hindered by limited speed, unable to outrun the swiftest prey, they depend on exhaustion, entrapment, and others' failures. Across the savannah, that weakness decides the outcome of every chase. When antelopes sense danger, they run without hesitation. Precision, honed by generations of escape, they are the most abundant on these lands. Each body built for flight, sprinting in long strides, executing unpredictable turns, moving in a synchrony of sight, hearing, and muscle that thwarts the most careful stalk. Faced with a family of hyenas, a herd withdraws without chaos, only urgency, and most escape. The hyenas accept defeat, retreat, and wait for another hunt. Today's failure becomes tomorrow's opportunity. For antelope, survival means continuing the line, keeping calves safe. Within hours of birth, a newborn balances on trembling legs, each day refining the biological machinery that ensures escape. Subtle but vital changes in hind limbs improve thrust and stability, a silent, constant growth that cannot pause. For pausing invites death. Every failed hunt strengthens the hunted. Each escape leaves a body better prepared for the next dawn. Hyenas know this instinctively. Failure drives persistence, adaptation, and refined technique, just as it forces antelopes to grow stronger. Thus, predator and prey sharpen one another. Yet, even after surviving another day, as the blistering heat fades and night cloaks the land in darkness, danger still waits. Every corner holds danger, especially when hunters of the night begin their rounds. Lions adapted to darkness for millennia adjust their rhythm to the fall of the sun, for they do not kill only in daylight. In their eyes lies an advantage, a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, which amplifies vision in low light by reflecting any glimmer back into the retina. This allows them to detect movements invisible to others in the gloom. Tawny pelts blend with the dry soil. Steps grow silent, breath is steady, and energy stored through the day bursts into motion at dusk. The savannah never sleeps, though its voice softens. Within this murmur, the pride advances as one, not by rigid rank but shared instinct. Females lead, plotting the route, selecting the weakest flank, splitting yet never losing cohesion. They move without haste, each step measured. In the brush, a cluster of antelopes rest, screechers well acquainted with loss, for each night claims at least one. The pride knows this. There is no room for error. They must approach unseen, await the signal, isolate a victim, and close the circle. Panic erupts, scattering the herd, and that chaos is the moment the hunters desire. Each lion chooses a single quarry. The doomed animal flees, thinking it has escaped, but the end is already certain, and death comes swiftly before the feast begins. Others in the pride bring down more prey, each kill made with the brutal precision survival demands. When stomachs are full and dawn spills over the land, the scene changes hands. Heat rises, yet feeding continues as scavengers gather, the scent of death riding the wind for miles. Hyenas and vultures converge, hurling themselves at the carcass as though every scrap were the last. No fewer than 20 vultures may spiral down in a dark tide, tearing at the remains, while packs of hyenas, 10 to 20 strong, battle for their share. Among scavengers, rank is enforced by violence. The strongest feed first, the weakest settle for what's left. This is not mere opportunism but an evolutionary craft honed over centuries in a realm where fresh kills are rare. Vultures, built by generations of conflict with disease, possess stomach acid strong enough to neutralize anthrax and salmonella, allowing them to consume rot without harm, making them the savannah's undertakers. Yet, nothing here is certain. What is taken by the sky can tempt the original killers back. Lions sometimes yield a carcass out of calculation, but pride is stubborn, and sooner or later they return, driven by instinct to reclaim what was theirs. When that happens, neither vulture nor hyena holds ground for long. Still, lion dominion is never complete. They share the plains with hyenas, among the savannah's fiercest inhabitants. A lone hyena falls easily, but in numbers they challenge, prides with fearless unity. Such clashes are routine in the contest for meat, each species shadowing the other, waiting for a misstep. The lion's strength is often matched by the hyena's collective will. Hyenas are no minor players. Their jaws crush bone, their stomachs dissolve hide, hooves, and sinew. Acute smell, broad-range shearing, and daylight vision sharpen their edge. Led by dominant females larger, more aggressive, and high in testosterone, their structured society executes hunts and raids with such coordination that, on occasion, they overturn even the rule of lions. Confrontations between lions and hyenas ignite when a pride tires, disperses, or leaves a kill poorly guarded. Hyenas converge, whooping, circling, striking with swift bites, before retreating, their relentless harassment wearing down a lion's strength. If a claw lands, they pull back briefly but never scatter. Persistence is their shield. In the right conditions, no rival lions nearby, and a hungry clan records tell of hyenas killing adult lions, most often females or young males. Such pressure drives lions to ruthless measures, at times slaughtering unattended hyena cubs not for food but strategy, ending a threat before it matures into a stronger clan. It is a stark calculation, lineage against lineage. Violence as old as the land itself, an unbroken contest for the same prey and the same ground. Tactics evolve, but the motive holds. Weaken the rival to safeguard one's own bloodline. Along rivers, another sovereign rules, the crocodile, silent and lethal, lying submerged to the eyes, trading long pursuits for patience, camouflage, and sudden power. When herds drink, it targets not the strongest but the least alert. A slip or moment's distraction is enough for jaws to clamp with bone-crushing force, dragging prey into muddy stillness. Here, dominion is measured in stillness, and all, no matter their might, must drink. During migrations, crocodiles form a living barricade beneath crossings where thousands pass, each second a chance for a kill. Water explodes, bodies vanish, and the river returns to quiet. Sharing these waters, the hippopotamus, bound to the depths by sun-sensitive skin, surfaces only eyes, nostrils, and ears, yet patrols with surprising agility. When crocodiles drift too close to calves, hippos pivot with explosive speed, gaping jaws capable of splintering bone, forcing the reptile to retreat. Even the crocodile knows some battles are unwinnable. At dawn, pale gold light spills over the river, a hush that deceives, for the air soon trembles with insect wings, distant roars, and the scrape of hooves on cracked mud. Every creature, antelope, vulture, crocodile, lion, recalibrates for heat, thirst, hunger, and flight. Dusk glitters in angled light, and the grass whispers like a restless ocean. The savannah keeps no record of victories or losses, only bones, bleaching under open skies and tracks soon erased by wind and time. What appears as savagery to distant eyes is no cruelty but the arithmetic of survival, where blood is the currency and will is the only wealth. Those who endure do so through unyielding resolve, sharpened by pursuit and escape. Beneath the vast dome of equatorial blue, life continues furred, feathered, scaled, and hornbound to the dance of hunting and feeding, struggle and renewal. There is grandeur in the ferocity, a beauty in its starkness, for from the clash of fangs and the rhythm of hooves rises the undefeated pulse of existence. The savannah, vast and sun-seared, is both stage and author, executioner and midwife, demanding everything yet sustaining all, and whoever sets foot on its golden plains leaves with the echo of its unrelenting truth. One truth holds: survival is never granted, it is earned with every breath beneath the merciless sun. Here the story repeats without end. Heat, dust, heartbeat, chase, silence, then again the wind rolling across an endless sea of grass. The balance of power on the savannah extends beyond riverbanks. Far from the tense hush where crocodiles and hippos draw unseen borders, the open plains become a second battlefield, their struggles no less ruthless. Leaving the water's edge reveals another harsh stage, the vast, shimmering grasslands of Africa. Each dry season drags a chain of hardships, soil cracking, grass withering to brittle straw, and the constant threat of predators. Lions, chief among them, lie in wait for the weak, the weary, and the isolated. In this boundless land, one law stands unbroken: only the best adapted will cross the plains alive to reach the scattered waterholes glinting on fractured horizons. Upon this harsh grid, the great migrations unfold. Hundreds of thousands of zebras, close ranks, knowing only by moving, always moving, will they find pasture and water enough to outlast the drought. In a single migration, over 300,000 striped bodies may traverse East Africa, guided by an ancestral map older than memory, their columns stretching like endless ribbons of black and white. Mile after dusty mile, they push onward, each day bringing new ordeals. Zebra foals face their first lessons in survival the moment their spindly legs hold. They dart from their mothers, dash among siblings, swerve abruptly, feign charges, stop short, kick at air, and whirl in tight circles, rehearsing for the instant when predators erupt from cover. What seems like play is instinct in training. Failure will mean instant death. From a distance, patient carnivores watch, knowing to strike now would scatter the herd for too little reward. Better to wait until the sun burns mercilessly, when thirst and fatigue force vigilance to falter. As the migration etches lines of tension across the savannah, great cats watch with calm that turns to blazing speed in the moment of attack. Through the day, their rhythm is built on long siestas, 16 to 20 hours of rest to restore the power needed for hunts and patrols. But the lion is no creature of endless sleep when he rises. It is with electrifying agility, instantly, ready to reclaim his place as sovereign hunter. This effortless shift from stillness to violence reveals the species' unmatched gift for adaptation. Yet lion warfare is costly. After hours of stillness comes the inevitable moment to abandon lethargy and commit to the work that decides life or death. The hunt. He may track a single target for hours, slipping through shadow beneath starlight or shimmering heat at noon, tailoring each move to the nature of his quarry. Strategy bends to wind, terrain, and cover. Sometimes the stalk stretches to 4 exhausting hours, the silent advance covering more than 10 kilometers. Such a campaign demands immense stamina and a patience honed to surgical precision. Remarkably, the lion never loses his bearings. Many creatures would wander astray, but he moves as if guided by a map etched into memory, each step falling on familiar paths. Yet not all contests are decided with claws and stealth. Sometimes the king rules with sound alone. His roar declares dominion, not only to grazing herds but to rival lions as well. Beneath the dim light of dawn, his voice rips across the brittle scrub, unfurling over the flat sweep of the savannah, and drawing an unseen border few dare cross. It is never a single cry but a sequence of thunderous opening, several shorter, equally forceful blasts, and a deep, rolling aftershock fading into the horizon. The sound can travel over 8 kilometers, skimming the open grassland where nothing blunts its force. Zebras, antelopes, and jackals may not see him, but they know the sovereign is near. The roar subdues prey and warns strangers, while nightly, patrols with lionesses keep borders secure. The dominant male calls as he walks, reinforcing his claim. If outsiders answer, a roaring dialogue may follow, an acoustic duel that rarely ends in blood, yet sets territorial lines with an authority as tangible as fire. This guttural speech has practical value. It gathers scattered pride members and signals presence in a land where predator conflicts are constant. For lions, communication is survival. The resonance of a male's chest carries not only power but order, belonging, and warning. As they fade into post-hunt shadows, leaving behind silence and the metallic scent of blood, the sky resumes its own theater. Not every killer treads the ground. Above the plains, silhouettes drift with lethal precision. Eagles, masters of the air, whose wings can span 2.6 meters. From their high vantage, their eyes dissect distance with impossible clarity, catching the faintest tremor in grass or glint of fur. A young antelope, lagging behind its herd, has already sealed its fate. The eagle folds its wings and drops earthward in a controlled dive, a living shadow that offers no warning, no escape. Long, curved talons slam into hide and muscle with crushing force. The struggle lasts only a heartbeat before darkness claims the prey. Too heavy to carry whole, the antelope is butchered with exacting care, each strip of flesh ferried in powerful claws to a solitary treetop. There, in a nest of dry branches swaying in the faint breeze, a downy chick waits. The eagle feeds first, then its offspring. No worms, no insects, only fresh, hot muscle, fuel for growth that will make it, in months, another ruler of the sky. As the raptor wheels away, silence drapes the plains once more, and life below resumes. For what counts as triumph for one hunter registers to others as just another day in the unending cycle. Beneath the same skeletal branches and along the same dusty tracks, smaller yet cunning shadows move. Jackals, consummate opportunists patrolling the fringes of an aerial kill site. Every sense is tuned to motion or scent, guiding them toward any edible chance, a freshly fallen beast or scraps left after disputes among larger scavengers. Their role is modest yet vital. They will never challenge a lion outright, for their success lies in calculation and patience. While sated predators sleep or drift away, the jackals begin their shift, working from dawn's first blush until dusk's final embers, adjusting their activity to moments of least danger. They trail the great hunters, reading the metallic temps of blood on the wind, the faint curl of smoke from disturbed dust, and the prints that hint at unfinished feasts. Their diet is varied: rodents, birds, reptiles, and vulnerable antelope, calves, but their true mastery lies in taking without risk. When a hyena clan abandons a carcass stripped to sinew, jackals creep in, ignoring massive bones to work on soft tissue, viscera, cartilage, and tendons others have discarded. They quarrel among themselves for morsels any larger beast would overlook. For lacking the size and muscle of apex carnivores, they survive by consuming what remains. In doing so, they serve as part of the savannah's sanitation. erasing traces of rot and closing the loop of organic matter, almost invisible to the casual eye. They keep their quiet tenure under the same sky where eagles circle and vultures wheel. Now the ground stirs again as another hunter moves like whispered smoke across the plains. Unlike lions that gather in prides or hyenas that swarm in clans, this predator works alone. The leopard, a master of the solitary hunt, he needs neither pack nor pride, relying on skill honed through years of trial. In a land where strength often means numbers, solitude becomes his shield. It reduces conflict, sidesteps rivals, and sharpens his odds of survival. Leopards avoid even their own kind, forming no alliances, defending their territories with fierce resolve, tolerating company only for mating or when a mother guards her cubs. Now, hunger sharpens his focus, and his gaze fixes on a baboon. The primate's aggression and fearsome canines mean little. The leopard will risk all for the day's sustenance. Moving slowly and silently, his rosette-marked coat melts into the sun-bleached grass. Eyes wide, pupils drink in every twitch of movement, even in fading light. By the time the baboon senses danger, it is already too late. The chase bursts forth, the leopard committing fully. The baboon fights, but against a predator capable of 50 kilometers per hour in short bursts. Resistance is brief. A crushing bite to the throat ends the struggle. The young baboons scream and scatter, but the leopard, deaf to their cries, hoists his prize high. Tonight, he and his cubs will feed well. As the sun's last fire sinks and the air cools, the savannah shifts again. Shadows lengthen. Silence deepens, broken only by distant voices of those who could not outrun the night. Burdened with his kill, the leopard melts into darkness. With his kill secured, the leopard withdraws into dense scrub, climbing high into the branches to keep the carcass safe from hyenas that roam like pale spirits. In these elevated refuges, his cubs lie hidden small and vulnerable beneath a darkness ruled by other hunters. The leopard's night is a state of vigilant half-sleep, ears twitching, nostrils flaring, every sense attuned to threat. Hyenas can follow the scent of blood to the base of the tree and wait for hours, and younger, bolder leopards might try to steal what he has taken. Nocturnal safety is an illusion only, a fragile pause before the next pursuit, the next contest for survival. Beneath the pale wash of the moon and the forlorn chorus of the animals, the savannah breathes, a land where life is fed by death, and every creature, from insect speck to apex predator, fits into a chain that tolerates no mistakes. The fall of an antelope feeds lion cubs. The carcass of an old buffalo becomes a banquet for vultures, jackals, and eventually fertilizer for grasses that, when the rains return, will nourish new migrations. Nothing is wasted, all is reclaimed. The savannah is no paradise, it is an inexorable engine of survival where one death ensures another's life. Drought leaves bodies shriveled in the dust. Rain summons tender shoots that sustain herds. Every birth carries a sentence, every heartbeat is bought at a cost, and even the air feels bargained in blood. The cycle is perpetual, merciless, the most ruthless, the most resilient, and the most cunning live to see another dawn.